Happy Tuesday. So today was day 2 of the IAI educational conference here in Orlando. Today was actually a pretty good day. I attended some very good seminars, and I just wanted to talk about those today. I met some new people, business cards, professional, and my small business, side business. I know some people hate to say small business, but I always say the small business because it's just me, one person. So I wrote my notes this time, so I don't forget. There were so many sessions out there that you can pick from for us, and that's one good thing about the forensic field as a whole. You may be CSI, and maybe you want to do facial not reconstruction, facial art. Like people have to say, oh, the person had almond shaped eyes. Sketch artists. I don't even know what they call because we don't have one in Texas that I know of, but I don't know the technical term for it, so forgive me for that. But a forensic artist, I think, is what they're known as. I never had to interact with one before. A forensic sketch artist, I think it is. It's something like that. I could be wrong. So I met some amazing people. But anyway, you can go and sit in any of those seminars and just listen, whatever topics they were talking about. So with that being said, I did 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 4 today that really kind of like intrigued me from the description. So the first one that I did was historical crime scenes of the real CSI Miami. So that was very interesting. They did a lot of their old cases from like the 60s, the 70s, 80s, and they did a current one. So I actually thought when I first read it, I was like, well, did the show use any of those scenes and kind of crisscross them? You know how like Law and Order would take some of the headline news and kind of like flip it a little bit. And when you watch Law and Order, you'd be like, oh, I know what that was from. Oh, I remember what that one was from because, it kind of put it together. But this one was just basically them as the real CSI Miami and stuff like that. The presenter was okay. He was a little up in age, so he wasn't as energetic and everything. But overall, the presentation was good. It was really good, especially when you get to see crime scene photos. That's even better, in my opinion. So the next one that was pretty interesting that I did today was skeletal trauma in a crime scene. So whenever we go out to crime scenes, sometimes we will have someone that just passed away within minutes or hours or something like that, maybe within 24 hours. And here and there, we will get a few that's a couple of days old, maybe a couple of months old. I remember I had a gentleman that had a heart attack. He wasn't estranged from his family, but he didn't really talk to his family that much. And the last time someone had talked to him was around Christmas. And when we went to the house, it was in May. So he was kind of mummified because the water had been running for like the first 2 months or whatever, because I think he was either cleaning the tub or he was doing something, I can't really remember. They really didn't go into detail that much after the event. So I want to say it was something like that. I'm not really sure. So let me back up with that right quick. Because somebody will be like, well, Tamika, you're a crime scene investigator. How you wouldn't know? So one thing that people have to remember is that you have your detective division and then you have your CSI. Depending on what is going on, CSIs have so many calls that we go on that we may not get back with the detective to follow up, especially if it's not for us a high profile case that we need to keep up with and we know we're going to go to court, or suspects come or things change or additional processing has to be done. So in that particular case, we knew that it was it was a medical call that probably happened, and of course he didn't have anyone to reach out to. So that's the reason for that. Or either you'll have some crime scene investigators, they want to know everything about every case they ever done. We are too busy to kind of be like every case, know everything. So sometimes the detectives will be more in contact with the family members, and they will continue from there with us. Once we come out and process the scene, if there's nothing else for us to process, a few days later, then we kind of like done with the case on our end until maybe we have to go to court. So with the skeletal remains, it was pretty good, because if you have a body dump that's been there for a while, they talked about different traumas, different things to look for, how the skeletal remains may look. So it was a good refresher. And that's what a lot of these seminar sessions or workshops, depending on the workshops you pay for. So I have a workshop tomorrow that was paid for. And then you just have your educational sessions. So that's what I did today, and I'm doing on Thursday, and I'm doing on Friday. So I only have one workshop that I picked out that I want to do tomorrow, and stuff like that. But anyway, it was very informative. I mean, I wish we had like another 30 minutes to ask more questions and stuff. Now, the next one I did was preventing burnout and increased productivity using emotional intelligence. When I tell you that this hit home for me, because after being in this field for 28 years, you kind of get like, I'm tired. What else can I do? And people are like, well, you do the same thing over and over. The process may be repetitive, but each scene is not. So each one will call for something different. But I think after so long, you feel like, okay, is this all am I going to do or whatever? And it was good to kind of like find that spark again, that joy again. So it was definitely pretty good. And one of the things, I need to go look at the photo. He said, give yourself 7 minutes. If you don't, what do you say? If you don't compose yourself or calm yourself down in 7 minutes, go take a walk. If you feel like you're going from 0 to 60, or you on this emotional ladder, you went from being very happy to now you're upset, you're angry, give yourself 7 minutes to, come down. And I like that, because I remember a friend of mine had a very emotional thing happen to her. And I remember seeing a video that says, I'm always a call away, and I will always make 7 minutes for, my friend or my loved one or whatever, even if they wanted, just to vent. And so that really, really stuck with me on that one. So I was very, like I say, this was like a emotional reset that I needed and stuff like that. Because you do all have days, everyone have it in their career. They be like, oh, I don't feel like getting up this morning. I don't feel like going to work, and stuff. So, but the last one that I did, yes, the last one. The last one I did was the aftermath of forensic analysis during a terror attack in Israel, from October 2023. And they showed pictures. They gave us their process on how they identified, how they put different body parts and people in categories, identifying factors, the process they did from fingerprints to DNA to tattoos to dental records, but just looking at that whole process. I cannot even imagine that every day is a crime scene, every day with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. So they basically told us everybody has been identified, everybody is accounted for, but it never stops, of course, and stuff like that. So that one was a very, very eye-opener, like for myself, who went through Hurricane Katrina. Of course, a lot of you know that I'm originally from New Orleans. I worked in New Orleans during that time, and that was a very emotional toll, because as a crime scene investigator and also living in a place where we bury a lot of our bodies underground, you didn't know who was a recent flood victim or who was recently buried, unless their clothing told you, otherwise. But then that always wasn't the case as well. So Overall, today was like a 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Meeting new people, handing out business cards. So yeah, so that one of the good things about being in this field, I don't know how other careers really work, but one thing about forensics as a whole, when you go to trainings, because you have to keep up training, at least 40 to 80 hours a year. A lot of it can be done online, a lot of it can be webinars. But when you actually go in person and you meet people and you hear stories and you be like, you know what, my agency is not really that bad, so everything is pretty good and I'm not going to complain. Or be like, you know what, that agency tried that. I wonder if I can get our agency maybe to do this for us. So it has a lot of things. But when you come to the big conference like this, I think they say that we have over 43 different countries represented in the international. So it's the International Association of Identification. So it basically started with the fingerprints. Everybody know about the fingerprints. So as I said before, I'm a latent examiner as well. I don't do it as often as I used to, but I am a latent examiner. So it started with that, and then all of the other fields within forensics is now under this one big umbrella of the IAI. So when we had a discipline meet and greet, they had the little I wish I would have had I wish I would have took some footage, but like I said, I'm trying to like watch what I do, recording people, but I do have some footage walking around the event space where all the vendors and everything is. So I do have a few videos, a few shots of that. I may just go ahead and include that in this video. So don't click away just yet. Stay towards the end. So back to what I was saying. When you come to big conferences like this, we all have our local state division of the IAI, but then this is the big one, the international big one. So you meet people from all over, different countries, different size agencies. Some just have two people and two officers, one detective and a chief. And it's kind of like weird when you sit there and you talk to everybody. But overall, it is a good time to hang out. And like this evening, we had the reception. I was trying to stay for the photo competition to see who won. I'm gonna just have to get online on the II main Facebook page and see who won the photo contest. It was a mixture of forensic photos and just creativity photos, like vacation pictures and stuff like that. So I want to see who won that. I was kind of tired a little bit, kind of stayed up a little bit too late last night. Didn't do anything, was just up watching TV. Sorry if that AC, because I'm right here next to the AC. But yeah, but now it goes off when I say that. But overall, today was amazing. Today was amazing. Like I said, tomorrow is my workshop. It's a digital media workshop, and yeah, so I'm excited. So like I say, stay tuned. Probably put some more clips at the end of this video with me walking around the vendor hall, and yeah, until the next one, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. All right, I just wanted to come in just to show you right here some of the examples of the photographs that were submitted for the photo competition that was held on tonight. I didn't have a chance as of yet to get the official count, but the last time, not the official count, the official winner, but the last time I looked online, this right here coming up, the handprint, I think was picked as the people's choice, which means it was all of us who, voted for it. And then there was another one I think I saw on the Facebook page that had a ribbon, but I need to go back and look at it for sure to see which one it was. And I think they had one with a dog that was drinking water also had a ribbon. But yeah, I just wanted to show you how the photo contest was set up. I didn't get too close to the information because some of it had their agency name on it and some other items. I think this particular picture right here with the EMS vehicle as well was on there. But yeah, just wanted just to give you a little sneak peek of how the photo was set up, and you wrote the number, the corresponding number that was associated with the photo. You dropped it in a little box that was right there on the chair, and there you have it.